Hey you, my name is TomSka Ridgewell, and welcome back to Thanksdays, the series where I introduce you to the men behind the man, the people who helped me get to where I am today. And since I'm currently going through a fantastic bout of writer's block, I figured this would be the perfect time to introduce you to my co-writers throughout the years.
Dog squid.
Back when I started making videos, I was free of such things as crippling self-doubt and quality control, so I was just a one-man band. My first foray into the world of co-writing was actually when I would toss ideas around with my friend Ed for EDDSWORLD. This was not exactly a professional process though. Most of the time he would send me a line to record and I would just send back something I thought was funnier and not actually record the line he wanted me to. It's not until 2009 when I'm introduced to actual scriptwriting software at university that my scripts stop looking like this and start looking like this, and here is where the co-writing begins. Mostly because I never learned how to actually write a script. I've been winging it this whole time, and who would have guessed? The first official co-writer I ever worked with was Tom Bown, this guy. He helped me understand how to format and structure scripts, he contributed jokes to a bunch of old sketches, and even wrote one altogether. He also went on to work with Ed, writing two of the most popular episodes ever, Hammer and Fail Part 1 and Part 2. Even though we've kind of gone our separate ways, I want to say thank you to Tom for being an instrumental part of my channel, of Ed's channel, and my life in general. Thank you. Now, before I move on, I want to mention some of the people I've worked with maybe once or twice, but wouldn't necessarily consider co-writers. These include people who have given me ideas for sketches, such as Ollie Taylor, Mike and Jacob Truman, and Matt Hargreaves. People I've tossed ideas around with, like Chloe Dungate and Jamie Spicer Lewis. People I've fleshed ideas out with, such as Jack Howard and Tim Houtekeet. And people who often give me notes on scripts I've written, such as Sammy Paul, Paul Neefsey, Elliot Goff, and Matt Lay. There's also that one time I just remade someone else's sketch altogether. That was a mistake. But basically, there are a lot of people in my life that have been there for me creatively, and I am grateful for them all. It would also be a disservice, though, not to mention you lovely people, especially those of you on Twitter who have always been so eager to help me brainstorm. Whenever I've gone through bouts of writer's block, I've asked you to say random adjectives and nouns at me on Twitter, and I've used that influx of data to help generate ideas. So thank you for that. Okay, it's time to talk about the true hero of this video, the man who dragged my broken ass out of the creative ditch it was stuck in over 3 years ago, the one and only Mr. Eddie John James, too many middle names, Bowley. When Ed passed away, my passion for writing quickly disappeared, and I was left with a mountain of creative responsibilities I just couldn't fulfill. Enter Eddie. In early 2013, I was completely stuck on the script for EDDSWORLD Fun Dead, and Eddie mentioned at the pub no less that he'd be more than happy to help. That night, in a drunken stupor probably, I sent him over my draft of the script, and the next day he sent back his own draft, and from that point onwards, Eddie was my official co-writer. Forever. No escape. I actually first met Eddie many years ago at a comic convention. The EDDSWORLD table was set up next to his, and after the convention, when I wrote a blog post about the whole experience, I name-dropped Eddie as being painfully unfunny, and unsurprisingly, he found it, spawning TomSka's law of the internet: anything you say online can and will be found by the person you said it about. We're cool now though, right, Eddie?
Fuck you!
But yeah, since 2013, Eddie has been my right-hand man on pretty much every single TomSka and EDDSWORLD video, excluding Astor Movie, a handful of sketches, and anything sex ed related. It's also worth noting that a few sketches were Eddie's idea in the first place, and I was just the co-writer, this including Delayed Reaction, Skyscam, and as much as it pains me to admit it, The Hole. In short, it's Eddie you have to thank, or blame depending on your perspective, for the continuation of my channel. The way I like to think of it is I have the smarts and he has the hearts. He brings his tireless motivation and passion to the table, and I bring my experience and critical thinking. It works. How do we actually write scripts though? Honestly, it's pretty underwhelming. We take a piece of paper, we write down our ideas, we sketch out all the beats and jokes, and then we type it up onto a computer. Maybe we'll send it off to our friends or a client for notes, and depending on their feedback, we make tweaks. Like I said, I've just kind of been winging it this whole time. So yeah, I hope you now have a little bit more of an appreciation and understanding for the people who help to make my videos look better than whatever they'd look like if I still worked alone. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. TomSka out.
Don't worry, you won't be injured.
Oh.
Because you'll be dead.
Suicide, y'all say squad. Suicide, squad. Suicide, squad. I say suicide, y'all say squad. Suicide, squad.